This conference will now be recorded.
Y'all ready down there? Shannon, how are you? Good. What? No. Well, we're glad you have a skill set. I'd like to call the Board of Supervisors meeting to order. Let's start with the pledge in a moment. So, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. We do have a quorum. We do need to adopt an agenda. Anybody have anything we need to add to the agenda this evening? What would y'all like to do?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
I'd second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. As always, public comment. Public comment. We count you too, Chuck. Then we're up to two. All right. Consent agenda. We do need to. We've had a correction on these. We've got minutes from 3:27, 4:02, and then 4:03. And Mr. Yao was absent at those meetings.
Yeah.
What would y'all like to do with those? Yeah, what would you like to do with A? I think we've got to do them in two parts.
Yeah.
We've got different people absent. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes A as presented.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And abstaining?
I abstain.
All right. Let's do the minutes from 4/7/2025. In that meeting, Mr. Yao and Mr. Jewett were absent. What would you like to do with those minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And abstaining?
Abstain, aye.
I abstain. Chairman, Vice Chairman Yells abstain. Got it?
Okay.
Cool.
Glad to see the microphone's on. All right, a public hearing. We've got FY26 administrative fees. Mr. Gordon, please.
Yes, sir. You have before you the administrative fees for FY27. The only changes in those are for the animal shelter. Boarding fees are proposed to move from $5 to $10. Dog adoption fees from $95 to $100. Cat adoption fees from $75 to $80. And then at the transfer station, commercial bulk will move from $65 to $70 per ton. And brush type material will move from $65 to $70 per ton. Just a point of emphasis on this, we did check with some other counties on the transfer stations. Culpeper and Greene specifically because they are transfer station and not landfills. Culpeper is $71.50 on both, and Greene County is $70 even per ton on both. Those are the only changes from last year. Everything else remains the same.
Anybody have any comments on this before we open it up to the public?
No.
All right, the public hearing is open. Is there any public comment on these administrative fees for the FY26 fiscal year? I don't, is anybody?
We need to check the.
I don't see anybody back there. All right. Guess we'll do it one more time. Any public comment? All right. Anybody handing? All right, we do have a public hearing is closed and back to the board on these FY26 administrative fees. We do have a resolution 2025-7 that would adopt these fees. What would y'all like to do?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution 2025-7, adopting the Madison County administrative fees for FY '26.
I second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, we don't have any old business. Radio usage MOU. Mr. Gordon?
Yes, sir. I have been working closely with the park radio tech. I just learned I learned that the federal government does not have to coordinate with the FCC on radio usage like a private entity or a county or state government would. The reason for this MOU is mainly for that, to allow them to use our frequencies, and allow us to be on their frequencies. He and I have already worked the programming out. We're good to go. This will just satisfy the regulations that they're bound to by the NTIA. Mr. Wright has looked this over. Basically, what the MOU spells out is we have permission to use them, they have permission to use us. Any incurred costs will be paid by the entity that owns the equipment. So if we have to make a change, we'll pay for that. If they have to make a change, they'll pay for them. It allows us to get out of the agreement with 30 days writing. And then beyond that, it's a very, very simple document. It's about 4 pages. As MOUs go, this is a pretty short to the sweet topic.
Shannon, you got anything to add?
No, I mean, when I'm looking at these, I'm mostly concerned about both risk and then financial liability. I didn't see any issues with either.
Hey, and just a question, has very little bearing on this. The park was going through an update of their radio system. Did they follow through, or?
They are still in the process. They had a very skinny budget
Yeah, it's
to
like
do
$5
it.
million.
$5 million to do roughly 63 miles of park. So that's a lot of range. And they're on VHF the same way we are. At one point, they were on FM. I think they've gotten away from that. I know they have, looking at their MOU. But it's a very skinny budget, what they're due. They have shown some interest in Churchill, but I don't know where that's going to go.
So we haven't been able to use their frequencies over all these years and stuff?
No, they've had ours, but we've never had theirs, so to speak. But they have gotten to a point now where they are on VHF where we will be able to do that.
Anybody else have questions, thoughts on this MOU?
Well, the only thing I noticed, Brian, is number 11 says 90 days written notice.
90 days, excuse me,
Instead of
not 30,
30. So
right.
I just thought.
No, absolutely. What would y'all like to do with the MOU?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the MOU for the radio usage.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, we've got a large-scale outdoor event permit application from Graves Mountain Lodge. We do this every year. Brian, what do you want to point out on this?
Not a lot of change. This is very, very similar to years past, if not identical. This year, they're running from May 29th through May 31st. That's going to be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The attendance on this is pretty much standard what it has been in the past. We see no issues with it. Yeah.
We got questions,
Yeah.
comments, thoughts? Seems like they're doing a lot better.
Yeah, this is
And
a
that's
good thing
great.
for
It
Madison.
is good. What would y'all like to do?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to approve the large-scale outdoor event permit application submission number 848.
Second.
All right. Motion's made and seconded. Did you get who made the second? All right, there you go. All right, motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Anybody have any items we want to discuss? How about information and correspondence?
I do have one. The hare scramble at Grays Mountain Lodge, the dirt bike, is going to be occurring this weekend, I believe. It's small enough where was administratively approved by Allen, but that will be ongoing up there at Graves, and we do have EMS standby for that event.
Yeah, go.
Oh, I'm sorry. How many people?
How many? Last year there was between, I think, 200 and 300 daily, and then most of those are the riders. They range from what looks like 4-year-olds up to adult.
But you've got like the track map and all this
Yes,
stuff?
yeah, everything was
Yeah.
provided. Yep.
Oh, that's great.
When's that gonna be again?
I believe it's this weekend. I'd have to go back and look
Oh,
at
yeah?
it, but I think it was Mother's Day weekend.
All right, anybody else have any information? All right, back to public comment. Public comment. All right, what would y'all like to do?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, we're gonna do it again.
All right.
Good meeting.
Good job, Brian.
That was one of the better ones. We'll pass along to Jonathan that you excel.
So what, you're gonna leave?